6:30. I'd like to call this,
That horse is dead, and then you got into a conversation. I said, okay.
excuse me,
Yeah, okay.
I'd like to call this meeting at 6:30, the city council meeting of City of Monessen to order. Could I have a roll call, please?
Councilman Orchakowski?
Yes.
Councilperson Thomas?
Here.
Councilman Nestor?
Present.
Councilman Gregor?
Here.
Mayor Mosher?
Present. At this time, I'd like to ask Pastor Tim to lead us in prayer.
Father, we welcome your presence into this place, and we thank you for the wisdom and the grace and the understanding that you can give each one of us. Your word tells us to pray for peace of the city where you dwell, and the peace will remain there. And so, Father, we pray that today. I also pray, Father, as your word says, that if any of you lack wisdom, to ask and will receive. And Lord, there is a lot of wisdom, a lot of understanding in this room, but Father, they want to move the city forward. They want to move this region forward. And I pray you give them wisdom beyond anything they could ever imagine. Bless them. Bless the people in this room, the people that are watching at home, and bless especially the leadership of the city. In Jesus' name, amen.
Amen.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. At this time, I'd like council to review the minutes from the previous October 27th meeting, and when done, make a motion to approve it.
Two more pages after this.
Mayor, I'd like to make a motion to approve the minutes of our previous session dated October 27th, 2022.
Is there a second?
Second, Mayor.
Any questions? Please call the roll.
Councilperson Thomas?
Yes.
Councilman Nestor?
Aye.
Councilman Gregor?
Aye.
Councilman Orchakowski?
Yes.
Mayor Mosher?
Aye. At this time, I'd like to open the floor for public comment on agenda items only.
Okay. You people are moving money out of one account to pay the payroll, and then it says here that you're gonna utilize the American Rescue Plan to allocate 39,000, which is like 20,000 less. So you're not reimbursing the general fund? You're like short on this? Is that yours, Councilman Tony?
We're paying out of the general fund, and then we're gonna reimburse the general fund for a particular payroll expenditure that we can, which is out of the ARP money, which would pay for our officers.
It pays about 2/3. You're still short 20,000. So
No,
we're
20,000 still out of the, it's all coming out of the general. Then we're only paying
Yeah, but
part of it.
Yeah, so you're paying part of it from this rescue plan.
Yes.
Okay, so how we're gonna make up the difference? Because every 2 weeks you're just taking it out of the general plan.
What do you mean? Where am I making up a difference to where?
Well, it seems like every 2 weeks you're paying the
Every 2
payroll.
weeks there is payroll.
Yeah, but
That is
you're
correct.
taking it out.
This is the first time I'm taking it out of, some of it out of the ARP money to meet payroll.
Oh, this is the first time this year?
This is the very first time.
Okay, I thought you were continually doing this.
Haven't done it at all.
Councilman Nestor, You're working on these stop signs or something, construction of the curb. I have a question. I'm driving down Third Avenue.
Third Street.
Yeah, Third Street.
That sign that's been put
yeah,
there,
the stop
that's
signs
gonna
there.
actually be brought up too today, cause I had some questions about
Yeah,
it.
because I had a green light, I didn't know what to do.
Well, that's the thing, that's why I wanted to ask him. We're gonna touch bases on that too, cause I've seen that, and then, but yeah, that'll be brought up.
Green means go.
It's,
Huh?
Green means go.
well, it caused.
Yeah,
it
but he
caused a
has a big
conflict.
stop sign. It's
You
right
stop,
there.
then you wait for the light, and then you go.
When I did that somewhere else, that's called stop and go, and they got me for a ticket, going to the stop sign.
Ernie, if I could comment on that, that should be a stop here on red sign.
Yeah, but even when you have a green light right in
No,
front of you?
That really shouldn't be a stop.
Yeah, that's a question I wanted to ask too.
That
because
should
I
be a
noticed on
stop
top of the-
here on red.
Well, that's what I was gonna get to on this, because I noticed the sign's there, it's a stop sign, and at the bottom of it, it has a little PennDOT marker at the bottom of it. Did we put the sign there, or did it come from PennDOT?
Someone told me it was supposed to be temporary.
And
because-
that stop sign though, is what we were mentioning, stop on this line with
Yeah.
red.
Stop here on red.
Red, yeah, it shouldn't be,
It doesn't
Unless
say
they
on
put
red.
it up
unless they
temporary,
put there
I don't know.
for some reason, if
It
they're
doesn't
running
say
a
on
line.
red,
yeah.
it just says stop.
What's that?
I wasn't even aware there was a stop sign
I
there.
didn't know.
Yeah, there's a big white
I haven't
line
been
there
over
too,
there.
I seen it this
Yeah,
afternoon.
Well, I asked for the white line.
Yeah.
Yes, but now
Yeah.
there's a big stop sign. And so now you see the stop sign and you see, it's gonna cause an accident.
I'm not even gonna ask, Hap. I'm
So
not
I-
gonna ask.
You gotta get that stop.
I will try to explain what's going on there.
Yeah.
First off, because there is a issue with large trucks, fire trucks, anything with a trailer, making a right-hand turn off Schoonmaker onto Third Street, if there's a car that's come down Third Street waiting at the stoplight, it's a problem. There's not enough room there. The intersection is not wide enough. I asked today to ask the streets department to paint a white line on Third Street far enough back that a fire truck, or a truck can just stop. He said he did not have any signs that says stop here on red. I thought that was the end of it. I had no idea that there was a stop sign there. I apologize, that's,
And it actually goes up to like waist high too. It's
Yeah.
real short.
well, I'm sorry, I apologize. That's,
But you
I
see
will,
the green
I will
light
stop there on the way
before you
home and
see the
remove
stop
that.
sign.
Yeah,
I stopped at it.
That is not appropriate.
yeah.
I apologize.
Yeah.
I just got,
Please,
Hap, you wanna grab it on the way home?
You on the way out?
if you don't, I will.
this is for the mayor, this is my last thing. Mayor, what happened to Cipher and Cipher report that you guys are spending $5,000 to tell us that we got 450,000 left that's due to us?
To be real honest with you, I went to Spain.
Okay, so when are we gonna get this?
I will
report?
call her tomorrow and we'll get scheduled to get back on that.
Do you think we'll have it for Monday before Thanksgiving, the next,
I hope so.
meeting?
I think so, it's possible.
Yeah, because I wanna know if the $5,000 did any good.
Me too.
That's it.
Is there any other public comments on agenda items?
Thank you.
Thank you. Does anybody have any correspondence that they'd like to present? Okay. At which point, it's time for our solicitor to give his report.
Thank you, Mayor. Good evening, everybody. First, the zoning ordinance is ready to be advertised. I talked with Chris Fletcher, met with him. Meetings have different definitions now. Over the phone today to go over some of the comments from the counties, make sure everything was ready to go, and it is. So there's a motion to advertise, and I was talking to the city administrator earlier. We just have to make sure that the advertisement hits the paper Saturday, because your meeting will be the Monday of Thanksgiving week, and there's no printed paper on Mondays. I'm also working with Mr. Korposh to begin preparing the budget ordinance, tax levy ordinance. One additional item that the city should take a look at is the fee schedule. I don't know if you're going through your budgeting process and looking at fees and things like that, but that should be something you take a look at as well. And finally, the USDA did provide some comments back on the engineering contract documents, specifications, and drawings. I'm working with them as well as the city administrator go over finalizing a few insurance requirements and sending those revisions back to the USDA. That's all I have for this evening.
Thank you. Let's see, our city controller's not here, so we can skip that.
Treasurers,
Treasury report, okay. Treasurer, would you please give us your report?
And Mayor and Council and citizens of Monessen. Ladies and gentlemen, the garbage fees and city real estate taxes collected for the month of October. Garbage fees, current, $1,720. Year-to-date, $325,586.51. Budget amount, $370,000. Delinquents for October, $1,917. Port Dog collected $18,815.23. Year-to-date, delinquent, $80,779.83. Port Dog collected $40,090. Budget amount for the year, $120,000. Interest and penalties collected by Port Off, $1,452.49. Housing Authority quarterlies, year-to-date, $15,258.75, nothing budgeted amount, that was from last year. Total budget amount, $490,000. Garbage fees collected for 2023, $1,385. Year-to-date, budget amount, $147,834. City real estate taxes. Current revenues, October, $10,580.13. Year-to-date, $1,994,212.26. Budget amount, general fund will receive $1,452,449. Debt service fund received $394,229. Parks, $199,052. Library, $42,135, for a total of $2,087,865. Delinquent city taxes collected the prior year, nothing this month. Year-to-date, $5,502.96. Budget amount, $9,000. Received nothing from Portnoy this month, nor for year-to-date. Collected by Westmoreland County Tax Claim Bureau, $50,195.99 for October. Year-to-date, $167,423.55. Budget amount was $210,000. Total year-to-date taxes collected, $2,167,138.87. City real estate tax distribution as of October 31st, 2022. General fund, $1,507,596.71. Debt service, $409,197.64. Parks, $206,609.62. Library, $43,734.90, for a total of $2,167,138.87. Real estate transfer tax, October, $8,099.36. Year-to-date, $89,332.51. Budget amount, $70,000. Earned income tax, October, $35,094.84. Year-to-date, $513,897.14. Budget amount, $600,000. Mercantile tax, October, $1,433.57. Year-to-date, $22,579.46. Budget amount, $29,000. Local service tax, October, $1,232.35. Year-to-date, $53,357.32. Budget amount, $75,000. Tax certifications, October, $3,340. Year-to-date, $21,940. Budget amount, $23,000. Municipal lien letters, October, $2,475. Year-to-date, $14,775. Budget amount, $16,000. Line usage account, unsecured payments, nothing this month, year-to-date $12,780. Line usage fee, October, $86,552.30. Year-to-date, $708,387.96. Total for the year-to-date, $721,167.96. Mayor, that concludes my report for the month.
Excuse me, Mayor, motion to accept garbage fees and city real estate taxes collected in the month of October,
Is there a second?
Second.
Any questions? Please call the roll.
Councilman Gregor?
Aye.
Councilman Nestor?
Aye.
Councilperson Thomas?
Yes.
Councilman Orchakowski?
Yes.
Mayor Mosher?
Yes. Melissa, are you here? I think she's going to give us a presentation on the Pennsylvania Department of Transportation on the Yellow Dot program and traffic safety related issues. I'm afraid to say your last name, please.
It is Masco.
Masco, okay.
Yes. So,
Pleased to have you.
yeah, thank you for having me. My name is Melissa Matsko, and I'm PennDOT District 12 Safety Press Officer. PennDOT District 12 covers Fayette, Greene, Washington, and Westmoreland County, so I cover your area, of course. So I met with the chief, and we were talking about our Yellow Dot program, and he wasn't aware of it, so he asked me to come and reach out to everybody here. So he's passing out the information I'm going to be talking about to you. And if you have any questions at any time, stop me, and I'll explain better. But what our Yellow Dot program is, it's a program that was created to assist the golden years in your golden hour of emergency care following a traffic accident. So what you do is you go online and you request one of these Yellow Dot packets, and it'll be mailed to you free of charge. And inside the packet there'll be a little yellow dot, and you will stick this on your window, the back rear window, sorry. Getting confused here. So you'll stick that on the back, and if you would happen to be in a traffic accident, the first responders will know that you have information placed inside of this in your glove box. So that information will include a recent photo of yourself. We ask that you update it every 6 months to a year. So,
It'll be done before you.
yeah, if you update your photo. Well, your driver's license would be on you. This will be a packet inside of your glove box. So inside of your glove box, they would find this and they would see your photo, your name, and the last date you updated it. And then also in there is going to be your emergency contacts, the hospital of your choice, any medical conditions, recent surgeries that you've had, any allergies, medications, and a physician. And the purpose of this is if you are in an accident and you're not conscious, so they can look, grab this and say like you have a latex allergy. They'll be able to make accommodations for that, or there's a certain medication that you can't take, or you're on a medication. It just helps first responders.
Or if you're on blood thinner or something.
If you're on a blood thinner, yes. So it helps first responders.
Does it say that you're forced to take the test, the PCR test for the children?
It doesn't, no, it doesn't say you're forced to take
Some
anything.
hospitals do that. You come in with a mother.
Well, I don't work for the hospital either. So,
Maybe we should put on there, we don't want that type of a test. They went to a hospital that doesn't do that.
I'm sure there's another option, maybe like other.
That's how Cal's name golden hour, because in the emergency field, we often say the golden hour, that's the most important thing.
yes.
So who is eligible for this Golden Dot program?
Anybody.
Anybody at any age?
Yes. I actually had a mother reach out to me about a month ago, and she has an autistic child.
Uh-huh.
So she uses this all the time, and she went to a lot of her local municipalities, and they weren't aware of it. And she called me, and she asked me to get some education on it, so first responders knew how to treat her child if they were in an accident because of the autism.
How old is the program?
It's been around, I want to say, since 2013.
It sounds like a fantastic program to me.
Our aging department has those in our office too.
You have this? Yes, yes. So it says right on here, it's a cooperative effort among PennDOT, Health and Aging, right? The state police, the Turnpike Commission, first responders, and local law enforcement.
So is it one sticker per car, like say your husband and wife are driving, they would look for, they see the sticker being that both of them, you know, they have information in the car? Or do you have to have two stickers that says you have two stick people?
Right. I would put one sticker per car and then have these in there. If it was me, I would just label them 1, 2,
Okay.
1 of 2, so they know that there's 2 in there, the first responder.
I would say important wife.
Very good.
And this right here, there's a little QR code right here. All you have to do is scan that and it'll take you right to the website on the back of here.
And just to clarify for anybody that's watching it on Facebook or whatever, it is www.yellowdot.pa.gov. So,
Yes, and if you go to PennDOT's website, penndot.pa.gov, it pops up. There's a link right on our main page for it too.
very good.
Okay. Is there any other questions?
Has PennDOT reached out to the volunteer organizations and sent them any information on this?
Well, okay, I'm gonna be very honest with you. I'm very new at this, so I just accepted this position in August.
So you don't
Prior
know
to-
everything yet?
Prior to, I know there was education provided on it. I can't tell you to who or what, but I know it was local law enforcement, and, you know, this is I didn't do it, so I can't tell you that.
Just was curious.
Yeah, but it's been a long while.
Did the ambulance, units know about this?
We hope that they do.
Did anybody contact us?
I mean, it's on our website. There's been press releases over the year.
I would hope so.
I would hope so, but this is something like, I'm here tonight and we'll go anywhere and help and talk to anybody who wants to hear more about it and go to our website.
Thank you, Mrs. Masco.
Yes.
Yeah, thank you
Any
very
other
much.
questions?
Yeah.
Okay,
Great
thank
idea.
Thank you for taking
I think it sounds like a great program.
Thanks.
Thank
And you know
you.
what I'll do? I'll leave these 3 packets I do
Oh,
have.
please.
Whoever.
Right over there, but. Yep,
Perfect.
Thank you so much.
All right, thank you.
Means a
very
Thank
much
you.
for inviting
Thank you.
me.
Let's spread the word.
And yes, please do.
Okay, let's see, I got a couple things just to talk about here real quick, I guess. First off, I was out of the country for the last week, but while in my absence, the city was contacted by the Monessen Community Development Corporation to hold a day-long event in honor of the city of Monessen and its 125th anniversary. They want to do this on Saturday, August 19th of 2023. The event would require approval of council before the utilization of the entire city park area on that date to accommodate many of the activities that are currently being planned for that day. I did try to get a hold of Dan at the Historical Society. Dan, I left voicemail there. I've not heard back from anybody at the Historical Society, but it does seem to me that this needs to be coordinated with everybody. It sounds like a great idea. I've got nothing against it, but I want to make sure everybody's on the same page. So I will continue with that. We have plenty of time before we have to make this a motion on the council, but just to make everybody aware of what's going on there. John, would you read this next motion for me, please?
Sorry, I was reading this. We're on D, correct? Motion to. all right.
B.
Sorry, motion to approve payment application number 9, sewer rehabilitation project phase 4, MON-2021-02, and the amount of $51,579.59. And the payment request include payment application number 3 to Reynolds Brothers Incorporated, the amount of $7,205.64 to Westmoreland Engineering Company, invoice number 2022-145. WEC Construct LS estimate number 5, the amount of $23,493.22. And Westmoreland Engineering Company pound 2022-145, and the amount of $20,880.73.
Could I have a second?
Second.
Any questions? Call the roll.
Councilman Orchakowski?
Yes.
Councilman Nestor?
Aye.
Councilperson Thomas?
Yes.
Councilman Gregor?
Aye.
Mayor Mosher?
Yes.
Motion to approve the first reading for approval of the revised zoning ordinance for the city of Monessen, and also authorizing the legal advertising of the appropriate documents to move the approval process to the final stage of approval at the next scheduled meeting of the city of meeting of the council of the city of Monessen on Monday, November 21st, 2022.
Could I have a second?
Second.
Is there any discussion? I'd like to just reaffirm what the solicitor told us, that this does have to be advertised on Saturday for it to actually appear on the November 21st agenda. We'll do our best. Call the roll, please.
Councilman Gregor?
Aye.
Councilperson Thomas?
Yes.
Councilman Nestor?
Sure.
Yeah.
Aye.
Councilman Orchakowski?
Yes.
Mayor Mosher?
Yes.
We can make a motion for approval by the city council of the city of Monessen to authorize consent to settle civil matter 221-ZB-00783-CRE based upon the recommendation of AXA-XL.
Could I have a second?
Second, Mayor.
Any questions? Call the roll.
Councilman Orchakowski?
Yes.
Councilperson Thomas?
Yes.
Councilman Nestor?
Aye.
Councilman Gregor?
Aye.
Mayor Mosher?
Yes. The next one's sort of a discussion item here. There's been numerous people talking about the issues on 3rd and Schoonmaker and 5th and Donner. And I guess some issues with 6th and Schoonmaker, although I'm not familiar with that one. The city administrator did talk to PennDOT about these different issues, and there is plenty of room for discussion on this. One of the things that I wanted to make clear from the last meeting, just in all honesty and everything else, is last meeting I made the statement that Ted Harhide was the one reason why the stoplight was removed at 5th and Schoonmaker. That was not exactly true. Way back in 2001, Ted Harhide wrote a letter to PennDOT asking if that traffic light could be moved to 6th and Schoonmaker, because I guess they were having trouble with the one at 6th and Schoonmaker at the time. And what that really did was create a study to be done by the PennDOT to determine whether or not a stoplight was critical at 5th and Donner. And they basically said, no, a stop sign would work, but they had lots of caveats with it. Well, let me continue this a little bit further. Along comes a different administration. By this time, I think it's 2008, 2009, somewhere along in there. And Lou Mavrakis was the mayor. That was his administration. He was approached by PennDOT because if people remember, Donner was a disaster. It had more, it was concrete, it had more ripples in it, potholes. It was dangerous in a car. It was even more dangerous than a motorcycle. It was horrific. And PennDOT basically came to the city council of the time and said basically that they will redo the pavement out there. That was scheduled to do the pavement on the road anyway, but the traffic signal was going to cost some $150,000 because they were not going to use the existing one but put up a much more elaborate one like they have the bridges now. And they said, if you don't do that, that would allow us to expedite and get the road put in quicker. Now, whether that's true or not, I don't know. But the bottom line is, at that time, the council of the day said, we'll put a stop sign there. And that's the reason why there's no stop light at 5th and Donner today. My personal experience is that Donner took much longer than ever was anticipated for them to do that road at the time. It took them a couple of years before they actually fixed it, and it was horrific during the fixing, but now it's much better. and we still are without a stoplight there. My whole point being that we're trying to make some major changes in Monessen today. That we have vacant lots down here. We have Sixton, we removed the old hotel, the old 5th and 500 Donner. If people notice today, there's a excavator in front of the hotel at 5th and Donner, 5th and Schoonmaker, the 5th Street Hotel. That should start coming down next week. He's mobilizing equipment and it'll start coming down. So what are we going to put back in all this space? We can't just live with a city with nothing in the city. We've got to start developing the city. We got to start finding new businesses to come in place. We need to start promoting those businesses and doing things. Once we have an idea of what kind of businesses come in, we need to sit back and look at our traffic patterns. Where do we want traffic going? Maybe we need to change. And PennDOT is very, as I understand it, very acceptable to us doing a traffic study of Monessen and saying maybe we need to move traffic, change the one-way streets to not be one-way streets, or change the direction of one-way streets, or change the entire traffic pattern. We have flexibility here, and it all is going to be based upon what kind of business we end up putting in Monessen. So my suggestion to the city is that let's hold off making any major changes on the traffic signal, putting a traffic signal at 5th and Donner, until which time as we understand what we're going to be doing with the traffic patterns. Quite honestly, I think 3rd and Donner would be more important. That's a much more dangerous intersection to me, but I think even that needs to be held off. In the meantime, I ask our streets department, as I said earlier, to paint white lines as to indicate where you should stop on 5th Street as you come to Donner, or on 3rd Street as you come to Schoonmaker. Apparently there was some miscommunication there. We'll get that straightened out. But realistically, you should stop back from the intersection on 3rd Street to allow any oncoming traffic that needs to make a right-hand turn onto 3rd Street. You should stop in an appropriate place on 5th Street such that you're clearly visible to people on Donner, and Donner needs to stop at the stop sign there so you're clearly visible to people on 5th Street. All of this needs to be clearly identified, and we're trying to accomplish that through some markings, and we will put some signs hopefully that make more sense than what we got right now apparently. So that's all I can really say about that. At the end, if anybody wants to make comments, I'm very interested in that. I do think that over the course of time, whether it's next month or next year or whenever, we will have a traffic study done, which everybody will be available to participate in, to determine the best use of how we move traffic through town.
Question, Mayor, I apologize. Do we know by any chance if we heard from PennDOT about the no turn on red yet?
I don't know that we have, but to be honest with you, I have seen more accidents on 3rd Street and Schoonmaker and Parenti and Schoonmaker, not because of no turn on red, but because people run stoplights. And that is just a horrific problem. I don't know how you get people to pay attention to stoplights or pay attention to what they're doing. I've yet to see an accident at 5th and Donner, but that doesn't mean one won't happen as we're talking now. I haven't seen one. It will eventually happen. Never say never.
Yes. I have a question for solicitor. Before they tore that building down on the corner of 3rd and Donner, there was a no turn on red sign that was mounted on the building.
It was actually on the sign, on the post, on the post.
It was there.
A car ran the stop sign
And ran it down.
and busted the pole and never got put back.
So if there was one there originally,
You would think.
and it had been run down in a traffic accident, wouldn't it just be common sense that you could replace it and put it on another pole?
Because now
Yeah.
I see that we're stopping at the white line. Now you're going to start to see easement going forward. And
Well, if you put a no turn on red,
That would
no
limit
reason to move
there's no
forward.
reason to move forward.
they have no reason to
and they
pull
can
out.
stay at that white line and not
Yes.
jump.
I guess the question becomes, is it PennDOT's responsibility or the city's responsibility?
The other thing to bear in mind is when that no turn on red was put there, there was a building that was there next to the Salvation Army that blocked visibility.
Yeah, but still, there was
Yeah.
a sign there.
Yeah.
I think you can replace the sign, I just don't know whose responsibility and
Well,
whose,
for the cost of the sign,
yeah.
it would be fairly inexpensive.
I don't know if it's not the cost or anything, but what you're allowed to replace signs going on the PennDOT street. That there's always an issue with placing some kind of traffic
Could
control.
you find out for us?
I think a call to PennDOT would solve that one.
Yeah.
With the
Did you find
municipal
out?
service, I will.
Yeah.
I will. Along with Joe, yes.
Yeah.
Okay.
Just curious.
Mm-hmm.
Thank you, Joe.
Mayor, could I add one thing to what you were saying?
Sure.
Okay, the problem with Monessen is we don't have a chamber of commerce.
That doesn't do stop signs or traffic,
But you started the conversation with,
right?
that you're trying to get businesses in there.
Yeah, that-
You can see the traffic flow out.
I'll talk about that some more in a little different time, but the Chamber of Commerce purpose is to network businesses. It's not to bring businesses in, it's to allow communication between businesses to develop plans that work for the city.
Then who's supposed to promote the city?
And community development programs and things like that.
Do you have a unit that does that now?
We have Monessen Community Development Corporation, and we have the Nehemiah Development Corporation. You got members up here on city council, and you got a mayor that's highly motivated to do that. So we're trying hard.
No disrespect to you, but those other people are nothing but bureaucracy.
No, that's not true either. Well, okay, we'll continue later.
Thank you, Mayor.
Thank you.
I'd like to make a motion to approve payment for the cost of rental of table and chairs from the Equipment Connection of Bell Vernon, PA for the community breakfast with Santa on Saturday, December 3rd, 2022 at the Monessen Civic Center. The cost will be approximately $600, which includes delivery, setup, and tear down and pickup of the equipment.
Is there a second?
Second, Mayor.
Any questions? Please call the roll.
Councilman Gregor?
Aye.
Councilman Orchakowski?
Yes.
Councilperson Thomas?
Yes.
Councilman Nestor?
Aye.
Mayor Mosher?
Yes,
I think we skipped that.
that's probably just as well.
Okay. Thank you, Mayor. Sorry. I just didn't want you to
Yeah,
lose
it's
your
my
mind.
fault. We'd like to make a motion to approve request by the city treasurer of the city of Monessen for exoneration of 2021 city real estate tax for the city of Monessen, 567 to 575 Donner Avenue, Monessen, PA 15062.
that this
Map
building?
number 20-02-03-00019, and the city of Monessen is a tax exempt entity.
Is there a second?
Second, Mayor.
Any questions? Let me
Comment.
explain this real quick.
Okay, you go first.
This lot happens to be the area between this building and the annex across the foyer there. And we have filed a tax exempt application, but that was after the 2021 taxes were levied. So we're trying to eliminate those taxes in 2021.
That was my question, if the exemption form was filed with the county, that's all.
Yes.
Okay.
Call the roll.
Councilman Orchakowski?
Yes.
Councilperson Thomas?
Yes.
Councilman Nestor?
Aye.
Councilman Gregor?
Aye.
Mayor Mosher?
Yes.
I'd like to make a motion to utilize American Rescue Plan funds to reimburse the general fund account for purposes of lost revenue for assistance in the payment of salaries and related expenditures for the upcoming payroll allocation in the amount of $39,487.34.
Is there a second?
Second, Mayor.
Any questions? Call the roll.
Councilman Gregor?
Aye.
Councilman Nestor?
Aye.
Councilperson Thomas?
Yes.
Councilman Orchakowski?
Yes.
Mayor Mosher?
Yes. At this time, I'd like to turn it over to our Councilman Ordenchowski.
Thank you, Mayor, Council, citizens of Monessen. I make a motion to pay the following invoices from the general fund in the amount of $40,511.94. All invoices are attached to this agenda as attachment A.
Is there a second?
Second, Mayor.
Any questions? Please call the roll.
Councilperson Thomas?
Yes.
Councilman Orchakowski?
Yes.
Councilman Nestor?
Aye.
Councilman Gregor?
Aye.
Mayor Mosher?
Yes.
Make a motion to pay the following invoices from the recreational account in the amount of $330.02. All invoices are attached to this agenda as attachment B.
Is there a second?
Second, Mayor.
Any questions? Please call the roll.
Councilman Gregor?
Aye.
Councilman Nestor?
Aye.
Councilperson Thomas?
Yes.
Councilman Orchakowski?
Yes.
Mayor Mosher?
Yes.
Make a motion to pay the following invoices from the line usage fund in the amount of $20,117.61. All invoices are attached to this agenda as attachment C.
Is there a second?
Second, Mayor.
Any questions? Please call the roll.
Councilman Gregor?
Aye.
Councilman Nestor?
Aye.
Councilperson Thomas?
Yes.
Councilman Orchakowski?
Yes.
Mayor Mosher?
Yes.
Motion to pay the following invoices from the Parks Fund in the amount of $2,413.82. All invoices are attached to this agenda as attachment D.
Is there a second?
Second, Mayor.
Any questions? Call the roll.
Councilperson Thomas?
Yes.
Councilman Orchakowski?
Yes.
Councilman Nestor?
Aye.
Councilman Gregor?
Aye.
Mayor Mosher?
Yes.
I make a motion to transfer $64,047.86 from the general fund to the payroll account.
Is there a second?
Second, Mayor.
Any questions? Call the roll.
Councilman Gregor?
Aye.
Councilman Nestor?
Aye.
Councilman Orchakowski?
Yes.
Councilperson Thomas?
Yes.
Mayor Mosher?
Yes.
And I'd like to bring a discussion up, or at least for everybody to consider and think of actable ways to utilize the American Rescue Fund plan within the city of Monessen. I've had some ideas. I'd like everybody to think of things that are projects or things that would benefit the overall city and the citizens. That's what the ARP money's for. I've spoken to the chief. I like to have, I'm not asking for consideration now, but something for all of us to think about is, he brought to my attention that C. Harper has a couple new police cruisers. Now, I'm not buying 4 or 5 police cruisers, but we can afford, now that's the Apache helicopter. We can actually consider buying one and getting it spec'd out. I'm sorry, we can consider buying one new police vehicle. It's something we wish we could budget for every other year. We wouldn't have to wait a year to receive the vehicle. It's already available for immediate delivery at C. Harper. That would be somewhere in the neighborhood of, I believe the other two were around 65,000 each.
When I talked to the sales rep up at C. Harper, the 8 that are sitting on lot right now
Are
are
still-
$5,000 cheaper than ordering one.
Well, that's always a positive. Well, they're CoStar too.
Yeah.
They're a CoStar dealer, so.
Yeah, he mentioned some type of fee or some type of, yeah.
Right.
But they're sitting on lot right now.
So that's something that I'd like council to consider. Maybe that's something we could pull the trigger on quickly for this month. Spoken to Lois a little bit about this, and I haven't had a chance to talk to Dawn, unfortunately, and the city crew has always had fun and a nightmare with that big truck. It's just constantly going down. And we're constantly putting money into it and try to get to work for a week, then it doesn't go down. I can't say or promise or know if we could afford a brand new one, because that's probably a couple $100,000 for that big thing. But that doesn't mean we can't entertain the idea and have the ability to look at something in the neighborhood of 60, 70, 80,000 that's used, that has hardly any miles on it, and finally put that thing to pasture. It's a possibility. Lois had a few ideas that we had talked about, things like the tennis court, redoing it, or do you make it into a pickle court? Because that seems to be the most popular thing today. Those are projects I'm asking council to generate and have a discussion about, and I'm not saying, we have $400,000 in there. And I'm not saying just to spend it all in a crapshoot tomorrow, but I am saying we have a unique opportunity to do some things for the citizens that make their lives maybe more pleasant, something a lot nicer. I don't know what it is, but something that could have an impact in the city. And that's what I would like to use the money for. It's a gift from all of us, really, because we pay our taxes, so we pay for it some way or another. But we have the unique opportunity to make things easier, make things a little bit better, to make our street police or whatever have another vehicle that they desperately could use. It's an opportunity for us to catch our breath and go, wow, we can do that. This is positive. So that's my ranting here about asking council to come up with their own little list, if they can, and we can talk it through. The only thing, like I said, I'd like you to really strongly consider is we do have a time constraint on considering if we want to replace a police car. Because they're sitting up there, we can buy one, we can actually write the check and be done with the thing and have it in operation. And it may take a little bit longer for us to consider a street vehicle for the street crew in a big truck. That's something that's not something I don't think we're gonna walk off the lot or find real as easy. I have no idea.
I thought on that, you were talking about replacing the big truck?
The big one,
The park plan, Joe.
the park plan,
Yeah.
The park plan.
park plan. I don't know why it's called park plan, but
Mr. Hepp,
It's huge.
do you really need a larger truck, or could you get by with a newer one-ton?
Yes,
You
do.
need a new,
I mean, in my opinion.
you don't need a big one?
I'm not sure what to give you.
I'm just asking
I
you.
don't need for a big one.
You don't think that just a one-ton?
so,
I do a park plan on one time, but, you know.
so,
it was always
You may wanna look
in
at-
the park plan because they said the roads were wider.
Because you could,
see the way
if you,
people park right now, Councilman, there is no wide street.
That's right.
Everyone that used to be in their driveways or in their garages are all on the street now. So you have to zigzag through the park plan. It's actually a nuisance in the big truck now.
I never understood what the
Why they
big
had it
truck
so
did
big.
versus the other trucks
so
anyway.
we may be better off with a one-ton, which would be a lot cheaper, and you may be able to get two of them.
If you utilize the big truck only like for other things, it's only used in the winter.
That's all it's used is wintertime. That just seems to be
Yeah,
inefficient.
these are things we can look at, for sure.
Well, that'll be a plus.
I mean, you, for one ton with a plow on it, a salt spreader,
Now, for the record, you asked me for my opinion.
Right, that'd be a plus though, if they don't
You
need
don't
a
need
new
it.
one.
Order a new one, time to be done with it.
I'm happy.
You already have the stainless,
spreader,
salt
salt.
spreader and the newer plow.
So all you need is a truck with the
Get
hydraulics.
Hydraulics, and that's where you got the light on the stainless box, nothing's gonna
Yes.
go wrong with it.
For what?
Drive the truck underneath the.
Would you do something like that through Co-Stars and like through C. Harper?
We could.
Since we're on opinions, Tony,
I'm sorry?
since we're on opinions,
Yes.
the fleet we have is not very good. I mean, the sooner you order that one ton, I think would be best, so we get through a winter with that.
Because I was aware of last year, we were down to,
Councilman,
Down.
in a big truck. Like I said, if we utilized it for hauling black patch or moving stone in volume, then I would say, yeah, definitely get the bigger truck. But for me, no. Save the money and
you mostly have that stuff delivered anyways now, though. You don't go pick it up.
And then you only have, once Mark leaves, you're only gonna have me and Dustin with CDL license anyway. So, I don't see the point.
So there's just 3 CDL licenses right now, you, Dustin, and Mark Kravitz.
Well, hopefully, all right. Well, hopefully
You'd be
we
better
hire
off
them.
getting a one-ton where you don't need a CDL.
Definitely hire
For
somebody
new
to see
hires,
it. Gotta have it, right?
with new hires, I'm talking too much, but one, for new hires, you're probably not gonna find, I mean, it's gonna be hard to find actual workers
CDL.
in the first place, but then to find someone that's actually gonna go out and get a CDL, that have tougher restrictions on your life, I mean, from anything from your DUI point to everything, it's not worth it to have a CDL, to be honest, to most people.
Does the big truck have the same, and I don't remember this, does the big truck have,
Airbags.
yeah, no, does it have appropriate sized plow to match the size of the truck? Or is it the same plows that are on the other trucks?
I believe we have one extra, stainless box down there, a smaller one, we always keep a backup one. we only do that in emergency if we have 2 or more trucks down at the time.
Well, the reason I'm asking is 2 reasons. One, if I remember, the trucks that went out, all 4 of them now,
Yeah.
they were like 56,000 apiece.
And then
Met.
we through the spreader and here's, do this. Get the price for a brand new box and a brand new plow, you're still gonna be under 100 grand. You're gonna be somewhere in that 80-ish area, 70, 80 with a brand new setup.
Well, we still have, the trucks have been completely gone over
Yeah.
and are already 100% for this winter. They were taken apart, the axles were taken apart, they were ground down, they were machined, they had all new brakes put on them. I mean, we spent about, I wanna say $3,000 to $4,000 per truck to make these ready this time. So when you guys are ready to go, they're ready to go.
Again,
Okay.
back to
Well, there's no motions on this agenda anyway, so these are things we can think about and we can talk about, and maybe next time we can start acting upon.
Thank you, Mayor.
Thank you.
Oh, no, I'm not done.
Okay,
No,
good.
I'm not. I almost forgot. Balances in the accounts. The general fund balance as of 11/8/22 was $305,461.87. As of paying bills tonight, that balance is now $192,583.73. Fire escrow, $18,410.99. Grant fund, $54,868.31. ARP fund, $420,377.10. Debt service, $758,650.84. Rec fund, $4,995. Health fund, $3,508.05. Payroll, $4,013.58. Line usage, $584,778.96. Refuge has $8,149.58. Excuse me. Parks has $11,931.44. And Liquid Fuels has $228.84. And that's my report, Mayor.
Thank you. Councilwoman Lois, would you like to give us your report?
Mayor, I think I'm gonna just defer the reading of the streets report and the library reports until the next meeting on the 21st.
Okay. Councilman John Nestor.
Thank you, Mayor, members of council, city administrative staff, and the citizens of Monessen. I will hold off my report till the next council meeting, but motion by myself to request the streets department of the city of Monessen assist in the construction and enhancement of the curb area in front of the residence 1125 Reservoir Avenue, Monessen, PA 15062, to avoid and to aid and to help with handicap issues and access to home, or at the home.
Is there a second?
Second.
Any questions?
Statement, Mayor, I'm sure maybe, I don't know if Rodney might have been informed too, but Barbie Davis has been informed that this will be okay and up to code. We just need someone from the street crew to go down to the resident's house to figure out where, but that's all I have.
Okay. Call the roll.
Councilman Gregor?
Aye.
Councilperson Thomas?
Yes.
Councilman Nestor?
Aye.
Councilman Orchakowski?
Yes.
Mayor Mosher?
Yes.
Also, Mayor, I would like to just add that tomorrow is supposed to be a big storm coming into town. Westmoreland County is supposed to be getting hit pretty hard, so if folks see any water on the roads or sidewalks that look treacherous, just please turn the other way. Don't attempt to drive or walk through them. We're supposed to get a lot of rain tomorrow. Also, if folks have taken the time to show their candidates by putting out signs, I would just request in the next few days that they would take the time to take the signs down through the public areas of the city of Monessen. Those wires on those signs after a while can cause issues to vehicles and to pedestrians, and it's unsafe. So if they could start taking signs down, that'd be awesome. Worked with the code enforcement officer and solicitor and spoke to the chief about the Hoffman issue. Furthermore, I'd like to thank the veterans, that's both men and women that served our country and answered the call for sacrifice. I thank them very much, and I would like to offer them a blessed Veterans Day. Other than that, Mayor, I yield the floor. Thank you.
Thank you, John. And I think the whole council reflects that same sentiment. Councilman Gregor, your turn.
I'm going to let my report go to the next meeting. However, I do have a question. What is this, is the Vector truck still down?
It is in service right now with the same electrical issue that they're looking at, so,
Who's looking at it?
Hill International.
They came down to look at it, or it went
No,
out?
they
It
went
went out.
to Hill.
It went out?
They,
Good.
they haven't reported yet on what that is, but our crews think it's the same electrical issue, and we said it should be under some form of warranty or payment.
Well, if
that
they
we did before.
just fixed it,
Right.
and it's the same issue,
It seems
then they
to-
didn't fix it.
Exactly.
That's what we
So-
said, yes, exactly.
Good, very good.
One last thing, I'd like to remind everybody that Arbor Day is also Saturday, I do believe. We have a shade tree commission that will be planting some trees at City Park. They're going to plant 13 trees. This will start at about 9:30 in the morning. Anybody that's interested can go help. This will be Saturday morning. I'm sure they'd appreciate any help they get. The holes have been dug. Trees just need to be planted, and I doubt if they're going to need water with the rains, but anyway, that is happening this Saturday, and everybody's invited to go participate if they'd like. Maybe. At this time,
I got one thing.
okay.
This has come up in the past, and I think I've mentioned, or someone's mentioned it, we've talked about it, but it's something that came Tuesday. And that was, being that the city owns Hilltop, we need to do something, or we need to seriously look at the steps where you go to vote. We need to make that some type of accessibility for handicap, because,
ARP funds?
oh, I'm not saying, no, of course,
I mean,
that's what it's
perfect
for.
use for it.
I mean, the thing is my wife and I watched and helped somebody, this elderly person was with their daughter, and she was on a walker, and she couldn't get up the first 2 steps that were from the sidewalk. And it was the first time she had voted, she said, in 18 years, and it was important that she got up there. And my question is, and I'll direct this to Heppel and Dawn, because I don't know the logistics about this. The steps from the sidewalk we could do something of a ramp or bust it out or make it so you could at least get up there.
The steps that are there, there's only one solid concrete one out forward to replace when the guy got injured a couple years ago. And the other ones are stone, I believe, right? Sandstone. So rip the whole thing out and make it a ramp.
Make it out, yeah, just make the ramp up to the door.
Well, my other question is, and this is where you two will know the answer to this, and I have no clue. When you're in there and you voted, and say you've maneuvered your walker, and I know some years in the future, I'm gonna be in that situation, and you're in there, instead of them having to come all the way out in the bay and come out the exact same way, there's a door right there, isn't there? Where you
Out the
vote.
back?
Out the back.
There's a door out the back, yeah, there's a sidewalk goes behind the building.
Is there a way we could put something in there that someone that has a handicap walker or something could exit that way and come through the front? I don't have.
You could, I mean, you could put a landing out there, and you could run a ramp down towards the street. I mean, it's ramp up in the front, on the side there.
But again, you got that like WPA stone sidewalks.
Yeah.
So even with a walker or a wheelchair.
You'd have to put in a whole new ramp up to that door.
Why don't they move voting into the truck?
Yeah, that truck bay's empty.
Yeah.
We keep the trucks outside so that we used to leave them inside in the November one, but the diesel fumes, when they start the trucks up, it's hard on people, so.
The noise of
we
diesel
keep the trucks
fumes.
outside now, which leaves the truck bay open. They can just vote on the truck bay itself.
Well, that would make life a lot easier than having the truck all the way back that little hallway and go all the way back there with a walker and all
Once
that.
you come in the door and you're in the truck room, just.
Yeah, right there where the radio room is, you could have, vote right there.
I mean, there's tons of room in there.
There is.
Okay. Is that, now, is that the election county?
You'd have to
limit?
act, yeah.
County,
So
You have
maybe
to
that's
talk to
something
them.
we should do.
The back room, I believe.
yeah. As long as we're talking about handicap things, think about the Civic Center as well. That is definitely not handicap accessible. You got the steps on the front getting up to it. How you would manipulate that to make it handicap accessible, I'm not real sure, but somebody that knows more about that than I should probably think about that.
Maybe side door, yeah, there's, I think maybe a side door. Yeah, there is a side door.
There's
On
actually
that
two
side of
sets,
the show.
there's actually two sets of front doors. One goes
Yeah,
into
right, the other one, there is no,
information.
are there, is there a step for the other one?
Yeah.
Yeah, there are two sets, maybe just the one, yeah. But there's the side door, there might not be as many steps there.
Okay.
Okay. Anything else from council?
No, sir.
I'd like to open the floor to public comment on any item then.
Yeah, I got a couple of questions. My name is Pina Cienflon, 45 Montraver, Monessen, 15062. First of all, last month, I think that I was here, your attorney, Alfonso, we got into a discussion. You're on the retaining fees, right? So you
Partially,
get-
yes.
You basically get paid by the city by the month?
Yes.
Okay, now this, Tadaro Matter and Campus PC, he's not also part of your group?
That's my law firm I work for, yes.
So there's two payments going to it, right? One payment you on a straight, retaining fees, and the other one is being paid by the yard, correct?
Correct.
What are the yards? How much do you get paid? How much of a check do we write on a monthly basis? Because what I figured out is somewhere between $70,000 a year.
Actually, it's not that much.
No, it's not.
It's not that much.
No, it's
Not
much
that
less.
So we're talking 60 grand
Maybe close to 60, depending on the activity.
on the activity. So it could be 60,000, it could be 80,000, correct?
It could be 100,000 too, depending on what
Right.
locations
so
within the
there's two
city.
types. I just want to make sure that everybody's aware of that. Because you think that, the attorney fees are cheap. They're not cheap. For everything he does, we pay his law firm besides his regular pay he's under contract with the city. Correct?
You're right.
Okay. So I just want to make sure that, I think that should be shown somewhere
It's in the
on a
bills.
monthly basis.
It is.
It's in the
That's
bills.
it's 45, on this case here is $4,522.
Yes. And
Okay?
some months there is a bill and sometimes there is not. Depends on what the solicitor's doing.
But there isn't a month that goes without a bill.
No, that's not true. If there's not much for Mr. Delfonso to do, there is no bill because the retainer's already been
So
paid
in other
up
words,
front.
anyway, let's do it this way. Say I agree with you. There isn't much for him to do, so it's $60,000 a year. On a low end.
Well, how does that math work out?
Pardon?
How does that math work out?
I didn't hear.
How does your math work
Well,
out?
because it fluctuates. You can
Okay.
charge $5,000, $6,000 one month, and $3,000 another.
All right, but let me put,
So
let
I'm
me put
just
it
going
this
on the
way.
last 10 months. What are the last 10 months?
Let-
You should be able to show us
I'm sure I can generate it
Give
for
us a
you if
number.
you.
the last 10 months.
I'll have to get it for you.
Okay, but I think we need that.
It's
That way
no-
the people get a good idea of where the money goes.
Okay,
I-
but it's
I
no
have- I have
different,
no problem with it.
but there's no difference, just so we understand apples to apples, and I'm not defending Mr. Delfonso or putting him under the bus or anybody like that. His fee, his retainer is what it is, okay, and then he charges as.
I
he needs to-
understand that.
But
I
that's
don't
no
think-
different,
I don't think that the people that,
but it's no different than I get a bill every month from WEX. WEX is Exxon and the company that gives the cards for the municipal and the police, okay? It's no different than that monthly bill fluctuates too. It's gone up, matter of fact, with what happened here with gasoline prices, it shot up, it doubled.
there's only one difference. This we're talking legal fees. What is the legal goes into? Where is the fee being charged to? Okay?
The city takes care of that, and that's for day-to-day. Mr. Delfonso does the day-to-day and everything else that's brought before this city. Now,
So
there
where's
are.
the administrator does?
I'm sorry?
The administrator, what does he do?
Well, he runs the city, but he's not a lawyer. Even you, I think you understand that, but the point is, if there is a litigation brought against the city, Mr. Delfonso will take care of it from the city's aspect, but a lot of times, there's required extra counsel that the city isn't always prepared to always have to pay for, and still has to pay, and it gets recorded as bills. Last year, there was over $130,000 of additional legal costs. I don't hear anybody complaining about that.
Last year.
Yes, we
So,
had to pay it.
So let's take it up to 130,000, so no one will complain this year. I'm complaining right now because it's six.
But it's not that, that's not the case, you can't do that.
Oh, I can't? Yes, I can.
You can't, you gotta compare apples to apples
I
when
am.
you do it.
I just wanna know what it is. Where does he spend all of his time on? On what?
That's what he gives his report for.
What is his report?
He
Tell
just
me.
gave it today of what he did, it was the second
Yeah,
thing
but
on the
it's not a
agenda.
breakdown. You know, it's a 5-minute report on a $4,000 bill for the
But
month.
there's also things that I can't discuss publicly because it's legal advice. It's privileged information.
So I don't have that privilege to ask you what it is that you spend my money on?
You have the ability to do that, but
That's
there's
exactly
there's
what I'm doing right
information.
now.
Would you let me
That-
finish? That's
Go
the
ahead,
problem. You
go
come
ahead.
up here, and I don't know if you're suggesting that I'm ripping the city off in some way or
Nobody's
some
saying
fashion.
that.
Well, I'm just making sure of that, okay? Number two, I put information in bills that's for council and the city officials to see because it contains some privileged information. You can request by legal bills. Part of it's gonna be redacted because there's information in there that can't be public by law. You're more than welcome to that. And if you wanna sit down with me to go over those bills, I'll be more than glad to do that with you.
Yeah,
If
I
you're
like to go
concerned.
over that.
Here, I'll give you my card. Call me anytime.
Will you tell me what time, what day, what place, and I'll be more than glad to make it.
Cell phone's best.
That's number one. So I need to know that. And I will make it a point to make sure that that's being taken care of. Okay, the other part that I was asking for, I guess I lost my train, but I'll get back to it. How many policemen do we have in our police force every day, per shift?
It's 3 per shift, right?
Two
Two.
per shift.
So we have 2 police per shift, per,
You have a third one.
so we.
How does that work, chief?
There are shifts that there are 2 officers working, there are shifts that there are 3 officers working. Occasionally, I might have an extra part-timer who's working just a housing authority. That's far and few between now, but whenever we get like, you know, for example, Chuck Kozar working, he's coming out, it's a Friday night, he's gonna work a couple hours in housing authority. Which, that may be the 3rd person, that may be the 4th person that day, but that's all housing authority matters. But there are, by contract, a minimum of 2 officers have to be on per shift, but sometimes we could manage 3.
I have one more question on that. If you got 2 per shift and you have part-time, and you're asking for a vehicle, am I correct?
I'm
Am I correct?
off for you're considering a
How
vehicle.
many vehicles do we have now in the city? Police cars.
5?
We have 5,
So that means if we got 5 police cars and we have 6 cops full-time, then, man, we got more trucks than we do cops. I think it is time for us to hire some cops, really full-time. Okay, I'm in favor of that. I'm not in favor of buying a vehicle when you got 6 trucks there now and you got 5 trucks and 6 cops. Doesn't make any sense to me.
Chief, what do you put on average a vehicle a day? 200 some miles?
it can range from about 100 miles per
vehicle, it could go to more dependent, we have to, there are days that we make multiple trips to Greensburg. Because if we pick someone up on charges, we gotta take them to jail, come back, we got someone else, there's gonna be times that there's over 200.
Hey, Chief, I just want you to know, there's nothing personal with you and me in terms of what I'm asking.
No, I'm just-
What I'm asking is real simple. To me, it makes a hell of a lot more sense to hire full-time cops than a part-time cops and have 5 vehicles parked in a lot with only 2 people per shift. I mean, 3 vehicles gonna be parked there every day.
The 5 vehicles basically are, say, day shift. We run 2 shifts a day, we run 12-hour shifts. Day shift will use car 1 and 2, for an example. Night shift, you use car 3 and 4. It's just to rotate them around, because if you keep running them, we're gonna be buying new cars every year.
Well, I mean, to me, that's the way of doing business, though, you know? Get full-time cops in place, and then maybe you won't have the problem like the fire chief said, going to some areas with a truck, you can't do it because cars are parked everywhere. It's terrible. I see that everywhere in Monessen. Okay, I see it more in Monessen than I do in the north. That's pretty damn bad. Okay, I have one other question that I want to ask. I know you don't have the camera here, and you don't think I'm going to go away. You know, years and years ago, I remember when Sinchak started his own newspaper here in Monessen to make sure that everybody was aware of what was going on. Now, I care less about the camera, but I do care less about the person who's running the newspaper, which will be his dad, which I think is a personal interest in
Wait a minute,
not
wait a
having
minute,
the
wait a
camera.
minute.
Let me finish.
Wait a minute.
I didn't
No,
cut
no, no,
in,
you don't
but
get
let
to
me
finish it. You're
Let
gonna
me
no.
finish.
I'm
I'll allow
not.
you to talk.
You're saying
wait till
that
I'm done.
You're,
Wait till I'm done, and then you can
No,
say
I'm
whatever
not
you
gonna
want
wait
to.
till you're done.
I
You're
do
gonna
find
take that
because-
shot at me.
Because the newspaper is giving you a break. Give you guys a break. Give him a break.
Because of me.
No, him a break.
But we don't
You're out of
control
your
the
mind.
newspaper and media, so I don't care if it was the Post-Gazette or anybody that's here or not here. If you have a question or someone else has a question why they're not here, you need to direct it to them. It's not council. Council does not control the media. It doesn't control the print. It doesn't control anything, okay? I'm sorry. I'm gonna stand up and say I've had enough of that, because we don't have nothing to do with that. Nothing. If you've got a personal thing about the paper, you go to the paper. If you got a personal thing about another company, you go to that company. Please don't come lump it in here.
I don't think, to me, I understand what you're saying, and I agree with you, okay?
Thank you.
But I'm gonna bring it straight up to you first.
Go.
Up here, I did it once, this is my second time, because it is. It's like a honeymoon. Well, the honeymoon's over. You know?
But
The
why,
honeymoon's over.
gentlemen, let me ask you a question. Then ask them why they're not here. Maybe someone got sick, maybe someone couldn't make it. I don't have a clue. Is it something if it's not being taped, that means it's not available tomorrow?
I know pretty much a little bit about everything, not much about everything, all of things, but I know a little bit about everything. I know exactly what's taking place right now.
Why don't you inform us, please?
What's that again?
Go ahead. Why don't you inform? What do you
Then none
think
of your
is going
business
on?
right now. When I talk to you, I'll talk to you, then I need you to answer me. Right now, I'm not your damn business.
Well, you're making accusations.
I
You're
don't
not
make no
backing them up.
accusation. I
You
told
just did.
I just told you facts, but I think that there is a personal
This is
interest.
getting personal.
There's an interest in here.
What's
Because
the
all one
interest?
time you
Please.
guys pulled the camera out, and then
Wait a
First
minute.
off, there's a camera right up there on the wall there. This is going to Facebook right now. I promise you, there's somebody from the newspaper that will report this tomorrow because they're paying attention. So
so they're not here. They're paying attention to what you guys says, and then they put it on. Is that what you're saying, right?
they're watching everything that takes place right now, as is anybody that's on
they should be able to
Facebook.
hear what I'm saying, then, right?
Absolutely, absolutely.
So the newspaper should be here then, right? Instead of getting it secondhand.
Let me put it to this way. Because of COVID, life has changed. If they want to choose to do their reporting as they watch remotely and write their stories, that's their business. That's their business. We can't change that. Unless you want to buy the paper and change it, we can't change that. But there's nothing wrong with that. Now, if they're watching and tomorrow's paper has nothing about tonight's meeting, Yes. Now you could say, what's going on? You didn't report anything about the meeting. Pino, I agree with you 5,000,000%. But tomorrow, front page, I said there'll be a Monessen, something highlighting what was going on tonight. It's the way it is. Okay? But it's been like that way ever since I've been coming to council meetings. There's not always a reporter here. And I know for a fact if some, God forbid, tragedy would happen and they were here, they probably would run and have to cover that tragedy. And, you know, I don't know what else to say to you. I really don't. I'd like to appease you as best we possibly can, but let the proof in the pudding what they do tomorrow. If you don't like the article, then like we all or have heard, there's letters to the editor. Put your letter to her, make your name known and say, this is what I don't like, and do it to the editor. I respect you for that.
I just did. If the camera is here, I do it to the editor. I try to get the editor to do a couple of things, and they did not do it. They don't even reply.
Well, tomorrow maybe you'll be part of that.
Even the last couple of months, when I read your newspaper, it just doesn't say, you know, that's the reason it's pretty, to me, in my opinion, it doesn't have very much to say about anything in the ballot. Okay, so it's nothing more than.
I don't know what their policy is. I really don't. They may have a policy not to put people's names.
But I don't, you know, you guys may take this personal. I don't. Because I think you chose to do that job. I didn't. I'm here to critique what you're doing. That's it. And I will do that. And I will not go away just silently. So them are the things that I think it needs to be done. But you know, when people say, well, you know, that's not true, you know, that the newspaper covers the stories, they're giving you a break. And I know the reason why. Very obvious to us.
Forget it. I'd rather argue for it.
Well, you have to forget it because it's very obvious to us.
Good.
Yeah.
You know,
Okay.
I think, you know, you go from a news editor, from a magistrate to a news editor, that's pretty good. I'll be back next month.
Okay.
Thank you for your service.
Thank
I will call you about that.
Please do.
Ernie Telegraphus, I just want to add one thing. I did talk to Mr. D'Alfonso Sr. He told me they had a problem with the computer and the camera, and he did not abrogate his mission to record the city council meetings. That's all I know.
Thank
So,
you, Ernie, for investigating
yeah.
and getting the facts.
Yeah, I talked to whoever I need to talk to find out what's going on before I start throwing accusations. Now, the other thing is, I want to go back to Tony. The rescue plan, American Rescue Plan. Are you allowed to do street repairs with it, like potholes and all that?
I do not believe so.
You
I
don't?
don't think so.
No,
You can't do potholes?
I don't believe so, Ernie.
no.
Okay.
There are specific things that we can do.
Okay, because I got a feeling that this winter, we're gonna have a lot of potholes, because this winter's gonna be nasty.
The streets in Monessen have some serious issues.
I
There's no
know.
doubt about that. And
I'd rather use that money.
well,
to
I
help.
don't think that the art money can be used for that. Now, the CDBG can be used for streets. We've done several streets that way, and we're planning on doing 3rd Street this next year.
Well, the other thing is, you should hold on to that money, because maybe some of the trucks or police cars might break down, and then what?
Well,
Hence
the first thing is to keep the city running. There's no doubt about that.
Yeah,
And
but-
he's already taken that action by deferring some of the payroll costs through the art fund. So he's definitely committed to keeping the city on the even keel. There's no doubt about that. But there is an opportunity that he's been making known for us to do something exceptional for the citizens of Monessen. He didn't say we're going to go buy a police car. He didn't say we're going to do these. These were ideas that he presented. There's no motions made tonight to do anything with this money yet, but it gives us all the opportunity to think about it, to come up with something that council can consider, and it will be hopefully on an upcoming agenda item as a motion.
Well,
You know what, Ernie, it doesn't have to just be our ideas. You guys are here. If you think you have a
Well,
better idea, just bring those before us too. They can.
I just think they should sit on some of it, because the equipment's gonna break down, and then they're not gonna have the money to.
Oh, trust me, Ernie, I'm going to push back on a lot of stuff, even though I'm only one vote and saying we gotta watch this. The point I made about the police car was solely because the chief brought it up to me and said, C. Harper has 6 of them or something on the lot, okay? When I ordered the 2 that they originally had, it took us over a year and almost a half to get those 2 vehicles. Now, remember, during that time, they're still rolling every day, just a street crew. They're rolling every day. They're doing their jobs. They're doing the best they can. All right, there's wear and tear of it. Trust me, I get the bills.
Okay, well,
And-
I'm just saying, by the way, how much do we have in the, American Rescue Plan?
$430,000.
And if you buy one truck for
I think
HEPA,
I think that's something we seriously need to consider.
yeah,
A
well,
truck
one
for the
truck for
streets.
HEPA,
We
yeah.
definitely
If
need
he
to
says
consider that.
he needs one,
We
then to
definitely
do
need to
it,
consider that.
because that's part of keeping our roads, going.
You take 2 vehicles, one for the police, one for city guys.
And then if things break down with the other equipment, then.
The other stuff, it shouldn't be breaking down.
Well, we don't know that.
I do, because I've put a lot of money into those vehicles, let me tell you.
I
Where
don't
they've
know.
been going.
If we have a bad winter, anything's possible.
The truck vehicles, I can promise Heppel and the crew that they have been gone over from tailgate, from bumper to bumper. And I told Bart specifically, do not skimp a penny. Do what you have to do to get them done right, the way they need to be for the way they were originally. And that's exactly what he did.
Well, all I know is if it breaks down and we don't got no money, you gonna bring your credit card?
No, I'm gonna give somebody a shovel.
Thank you, Ernie.
Hi, Linda Lacy, 1624 Maple Avenue. I just want to make one suggestion, is that rescue money that we get, I thought, Lois, that you had talked about putting a water source and a concession stand at 9th Street Park.
Yeah, but that's not with that. We
That-
already have funding for that. It's already a CDB project already. That funding is already there.
Okay,
Yeah,
so,
it's gonna happen probably closer to the spring, but that's already taken care of.
oh, okay.
Right.
Then my second question is that when PennDOT comes through here with their traffic study,
Not PennDOT. We need to do a traffic suggestion.
well, there is no suggestion you have to do, because if we put a street light at 3rd and Donner, then definitely 5th and Donner has to have theirs back.
Maybe so.
That's my, if you do one, you gotta do the other. That's all I'm saying.
Okay?
But 5th Street is more important. 3rd Street is too, now that you mention it, is you can't see, because you can park all the way up there on Donner. But if you do one, you gotta do the other. That is it.
Thank you.
Okay, thank you.
Any other comments to be made?
Mayor, Mayor, motion to adjourn tonight's meeting, November 10th at 7:53 PM.
Is there a second?
Second.
All in favor? Aye. Any opposed? We're done.
I always get the